mind to the table. No need to raise your voice just to prove that you're able. We build, not break.
Every point that we make,
Let it breathe.
let it land, give and take.
You speak, I listen, no rush to reply. Let the silence sit, let the tension pass by. No cheap shots thrown, no need to defend. Just ideas on the floor, let them bend.
No winner, no loser in sight.
Just a spark
In the depth of the night, sharpen thought, not the blade of pride.
let the truth decide.
Respectful debate, elevate the mind. Different views, but the tone stays kind. Turn the heat down, let the light come through. Best conversations come from me and you.
Respectful debate,
Rhythm in the flow,
push it forward, let the inside grow.
no need to tear down just to feel right.
We rise together in the same light. You challenge my view, I welcome the test. Not a threat, just a chance to refine what's best. No talking past, no twisting the frame. We stay on point, we stay in the game.
Break it down, no ego in the way.
Let the facts breathe.
Let the thoughts sway.
Calm minds cut deeper than a shout ever could.
Turn friction into something good. Respectful debate, elevate the mind. Different views, but the tone stays kind. Turn the heat down, let the light come through. Best conversations come from me and you. No, 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 no. No need for war when words can align. Different paths, but the goal is to find something real in the space we create.
That's the power
Of a respectful
debate.
Hello, everyone. Hello. So I have some prompts. If anyone disagrees, I'm willing to let's have a debate. Let's have a conversation. All right. I'm very respectful. Very respectful. I don't call people out their name. You know, try to promote a respectful environment. You know, so we're not arguing. We're not like emotionally fighting each other, emotionally arguing with each other, but we could, have a conversation, right? Have a conversation. If you disagree with anything, I'm down to have a conversation, right? But let me, I guess I might as well describe the prompts, right? So, number one, keep the West / America predominantly white / predominantly or white Christian. This is my thing, okay? I'm neither white nor am I Christian, but I'd rather live in a country that is predominantly white or Christian than any other country, right? I mean, like any parts of Asia, any parts of Africa, South America, whatever. I'd rather live in countries that, laughing man, what is up, my brother? What is up? What is up? I'd rather live in a country that is predominantly white or white Christian than any other country. And I believe if people are honest with themselves, they would agree, because you can name it. The most immigrated, moved to countries, right, are predominantly white countries. Australia, the UK, Canada, America, any of the Nordic countries, right? I mean, I rarely ever hear it. White people, black people, Asian people dying to move to, or in mass moving to South America, parts of Africa, other parts of Asia. Not really, not in mass, right? Not in mass. People are not, like, millions or hundreds of thousands of people are not, desiring to move to all those other parts. I see. What is up? What is
Hello?
up? What is up? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I don't think that black people are a bigger problem than white people are,
Okay.
just generally. Cause like, would you like to like, what would you think the standard should be? Should you think like the number of people affected by something should make it a bigger problem, or like the I guess the depth of the effect of the problem? Like, for example, if this thing affects like 100 people, but then it's pretty trivial, do you think that it's worse than a problem that affects one person?
No, no. Yeah, I think it should affect either the majority or a good chunk of the community.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't think black people are a bigger problem to the black community than white people are, simply because of statistics. There are more white people, therefore there are just logically more white racists. If we were to say that for every like, you know, the percentage of black people who are racist and percentage of white people who are racist are the same, we just get the outcome that black people are going to interact with more racist people than white people are going to interact with racist black people. So
Okay.
just
I mean, okay.
because
Here's
of
my
that fact, black people are going to have a bigger problem.
okay. Okay. I see your point. Okay, so let me counter it. Do you disagree with what is it? A lot of people are going to say redlining or segregations, or you know how there are communities of black people and stuff like that. Do you disagree that that's happened to the black community?
Uh, I say yes and no, because people kind of like I won't they over exaggerate to
Mm,
the extent of segregation
okay.
and all these things. So like yes and no.
Okay. Well, okay, then okay, that's cool. But let me just expand with my personal views where in my opinion, okay, most black people, majority of black people, day to day, they deal with more black people than they deal with white people. Okay? In their day to day, I believe black people deal with other black people more than they deal with white people. So, certain statistics, right? I we could use black and black crime. Okay. Usually, crime is proximity, right? I mean, we could agree to that. Crime is proximity.
Yeah,
So,
this is what I was talking about.
well, but here's the thing where I would say this: racism. I'm not saying that that's a great thing, but in my opinion, that isn't affecting the average black person day to day. Your interactions with the people around you affects you more. So let's say you being killed, robbed, mugged, beaten up, or I don't know, mistreated. It's
Like
usually people in your own community more than let's say the white man of like another community or whatever. So
I'd say sure. Like I would agree with this, but it's just like the rate of crime is so abysmally low in like the neighborhoods that people are like hyping up. Like for example, like the inner city, for example. Like if you look at like things like places like New York, for example, with like a consistently dropping crime rate, it's just like people aren't walking around afraid
no,
that they're
no,
gonna
I
get
agree.
mugged, or they're afraid they're gonna like, so like when people talk about black on black crime specifically, I kind of just like shrug my shoulders at it. Because as a black person,
I,
like I'm not afraid of getting
no,
mugged or
no, no.
getting like pew pewed. This is
What
just
100?
kind of
No,
not something that's within my frame of mind.
yes, 100%. I agree. Statistically, crime has been drastically dropping compared to the past. I 100% agree. But that's not the argument, is it? I'm not really saying that crime is bigger than ever. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying, okay, what is a bigger problem for the black community today? Now, it could be I mean, bigger problem is, it could be relative, right? So, I'm not saying it's the insane problem. So that's why I'm not saying that crime is such a big problem. I'm saying comparatively, you have there's a bigger problem with other black people than there is a problem with white people because
Well, I
even
can
if
give you
there's a
like
little
one
bit of crime,
example.
go ahead.
I can give you one example where it's like something that's trivial, but it's gonna affect black people a lot more than like say a crime rate,
Yeah, go
right?
ahead.
Like milk in schools,
Milk in schools.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of hear that you're not white, so
Yeah.
you know the probability is you're probably lactose intolerant. Do you think it's fair that we have milk in schools that could possibly send the minority population to the bathroom simply because maybe they're uneducated, they never got told you have this thing called lactose tolerance, right? That's just something that would really hinder this population from having a good school experience because when they drink the milk, they have to use the bathroom because they're lactose intolerant. But because of the fact that the country's majority white and they don't have the sensitivity to milk, they just keep this thing in schools.
Here's my thing where I think I'm understanding your analogy, but how our world works is that we gear towards the majority instead of the minority. I'm not talking about race. I'm just talking about numbers, right? We geared towards the minority rather than the majority rather than minority. So when it comes to a minority, a small group of people, that's where you have to have your own accountability, right? If you are lactose intolerant, you shouldn't be drinking milk. You should figure that out yourself. You should make.
Yeah, I can understand that, but like, do you think that the way that like a black kid, for example, figures this out should be that he goes to school and he drinks a product that he sees normalized, like everyone else can drink this thing. It's not something that is like there's no disclaimer on the milk box. It's like if you're lactose intolerant, don't drink this. Black people are like 2 to 3 times more likely to be lactose intolerant. So, and like the thing is, it's actually funny because I live in New York, which is actually a place where whites are kind of the minority,
Yeah.
and they still serve white milk. And so it's like these things, like they like from like on the face of it, they're kind of just trivial.
Mhm.
Like I don't think like they're oppressed
Yeah.
because they drank milk,
I
but it's just something that will affect you, and it's not like you're not getting like shot, but it is like a problem somebody would just face just because of the way that society isn't sensitive to minorities,
Mhm.
which isn't necessarily like the hatred of black people. It's just like a downstream effect of the fact that people aren't sensitive to minorities.
I'm. Okay. I'm not. Educate me because I'm not sure how that correlates to the prompt, right? Because that you know.
Oh, because like this will affect more black people than say being shot or like another issue that a black person would make for them because like within the system, this is what they provide to kids who are low income.
Okay, but do you? Let's say this, right? Uh, your cousin being shot, would be a bigger deal than your cousin drinking milk by mistake. Would that not be?
Yeah, but like the rates are different, right?
Well, let's
Like
compare it, right?
crime
Let's
is
say
like lower. Like it's more likely that my cousin is more likely to unalive himself than
I
to
definitely
be
understand.
shot. This is just
Yeah,
like a fact,
but okay,
right?
but the death of your cousin is more important than let's say 100 people drinking milk and then having to go to the bathroom. The rates are. I can even say a
Yeah,
thousand.
I get what you're saying, but it's just like the number of people that are going to be affected by their cousin being shot is smaller than the number of people who are going to drink milk
True,
and then
true.
they're gonna like that's what I'm pointing out. I'm
I
just
no
pointing
no
out the rates
I
that these
do
things are happening.
no. I'm seeing your point. I am seeing your point, but we also have to take in consideration the type of effect, right? So let's say let's bring it back to number 5, right? So white people, let's being a jerk to you, saying the N word to you, right? It's a terrible thing, and that could be a whole lot more people, right? A whole lot more white people being racist to you. But let's say a hundred white people being racist to you, just saying words, right? Saying words is, in my opinion, okay, even though it's a bigger magnitude, let's say five people in your family getting killed by, let's say, someone in your neighborhood, another black person. In my opinion, yes, the magnitude is different, but the actual I would say the actual impact, right, is more impactful in my opinion. In the sense that, okay, someone being racist to you tomorrow, next week, whatever, a month later, right? You may not like it, right? You may get angry about it a couple days, couple weeks, but it passes. Someone dead?
Yeah, the thing is, it never passes
I'm
really.
I'm
Like
sorry.
for people who are in predominantly white institutions, like there's never a time where the bullying really stops,
I mean,
and so in a society where you're more likely to kill yourself than someone else unalive you, I think we should prioritize people's mental health.
Here's my thing where I don't disagree, right? I mean, mental health is very important. But again, I'm more saying that like there's a magnitude, right? Someone calling you names, right? Which is I'm saying, yeah, it could affect your mental health. But someone taking your life still, right? It's and then maybe someone calling you name and then your mental health is affected and then you take your own life. It's still a difference where someone else is taking your life. I honestly still see a magnitude of difference, right? So
I understand that yeah, they're different problems. It's just I would just say that both of these problems are equally important, but one of these problems should be talked about a lot more simply because of the rate that it happens. It's just true that like, if, more people are gonna kill themselves, we should have some type of conversation with white
okay,
people about the things that they say and how that can
okay,
affect
but here,
especially people like black males who have a higher rate of killing themselves.
okay, but
It's
but then
not
let's tackle that
it's not
argument.
like
Where's your basis where, let's say hypothetically or whatever, that the racism is, in my opinion, I don't believe that racism is that rampant. And what's the basis of your opinion is that?
oh, that it's like really rampant.
Yeah, or at least to enough degree that it out
I just
like
say like my personal experience on the internet. It's like if I go on like if I go anywhere on the internet, I kind of expect to be called the N word at some time.
yeah, but I
You
mean
know,
but
maybe
here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
getting like assaulted or I'm not being accosted. Oh, well, actually, no, that's actually happened like once, but it was like an environment where the person kind of tried to accost us, but it was just more of us than them. We didn't really care. We kind of just laughed at them because it's just like we knew that they were being really dumb and drunk, so we just laughed at them and we were able to. But it's like stuff like that. I think that's affected my personal life a lot more than say being shot at or someone trying to rob me.
Okay. I mean, I personally would rather not use personal experience because there's no actual quantification of that, right? I mean, there could be like thousands upon thousands of black people killed. I see no numbers to quantify people being affected drastically by, let's say, terrible words, right, or racist words. I see no quantifiable results of that.
I
Besides,
mean, you can look at things like the rates of suicide by race
well, I
and
mean,
like
but
per
we
capita, I guess.
but we can't but we don't get because here's my thing where I could say that it could be love, right? It could be relationships. Why I mean and in my opinion, right? Again, I don't there's no people aren't giving reasons why they take their own, they own take their own life, right? So I could say that they're just doing it through either divorce or bad relationships or failures of jobs, right? Failures of the workplace. Not necessarily someone calling them the N word.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is necessarily the cause. It's just like saying that these things are, I guess, less important. It just kind of trivializes the entire concept of mental illness and people not being treated as less than. So it's like I can say that might not be the cause of it. Church, like that's 100% a good point. But why should you compound these people's problems with just being racist to them?
But then see, this is the thing where you just have the basis because I have to agree with you on that basis. Then, right? The only way that I can see your point is that I have to agree with you that we have racism is rampant, and I just don't see that. Now, if you're using internet
Wait, what
trolls,
race
I'm
are you
sorry,
though?
huh? I'm Asian. I'm Asian.
Yeah, like you're the bruh. Like the best, like the most racist thing I can say about you is that you're good at math. Like it's like why would you face
Well, I mean,
extreme amounts of racism
no,
in
I
your
mean, here's the
personal
thing
life?
where people have been people made fun of my name. People do the ching chong thing. People, they that there's a lot of racism, like the eye shit. I've gotten a lot of racism, and in my opinion, I just they're terrible. I don't disagree that it affects your mental health. I am on you with that point. It's just that one, I do believe in personal strength, perseverance. Um, I, I just I can't stand the thing where we're so weak against this. What?
It's not about being weak. It's just acknowledging the fact that some people are, like me personally, I don't give a shit. But
No, I get
I
it.
mean, like,
I don't just
yeah, I have I have a good foundation of friends who are able to build up my self esteem, and like I have people I can go to and I can talk about my problems. I'm not like a person who's isolated and the only way that they can get any type of social interaction is through the internet.
Mhm.
And then you come on this internet and so like, you know, you
Yeah.
go into live and they hear that you're black, they're like N-word, right? So I don't. So when I'm interacting with people, even white people, right, I try not to, you know, be racist to them because I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the background.
I mean, here's the thing where I think it's two different conversations. Well, I agree. You know, the internet is nasty. The internet is very, it's just disgusting, right? Particularly, I think it's detrimental for young people because they can't handle the amount of people who are nasty. So I definitely agree with that. I'm just saying in the real world thing, I mean, people that are nasty online and it makes you depressed and whatnot. I don't believe. And plus, it's like I've seen black people being terrible to other black people, but it's even online. So I don't I still don't equate that to um a bigger issue, right? I don't equate that to it being a bigger issue. Things that, you know, just being sensitive with online comments. Because again, I get a lot of hate, online hate. I mean, like literally someone just reported me for report this live for like hateful comments, which is ridiculous. But it's like, again, it's just I find real world problems a bigger issue because again, I've talked to plenty of black people where they're talking about drugs being an issue, violence being an issue, single motherhood, you know, single parenthood being an issue, rather than they're complaining to me, oh, this white man just said the N-word to me. I hear that more than you know, they're complaining about white people. So that's my basis for how I see things.
Honestly, like one thing that annoys me is a lot of black people get a lot of their talking points from conservative pundits.
Mm.
So because conservatives, they're very much like they're focused on things like law and order,
Mhm.
like they're focused on tradition. They're living in a reality that's just not like reality. Like they're just like, you know, the black community, like there's like gunshots every day. And like there was a New York Post article, right? And they said that the crime rate in New York has went no, sorry. The murder rate in New York has went up 400%.
Really?
And the reason they said
A
this was
recent one?
because, yeah, it was recent.
Huh.
But like the kicker is like 3 people died and they said it went up
Oh,
400%.
yeah, it's misleading because if no one
Yeah.
died, then all of a sudden
It's because no one was dying.
Yeah.
So it's like,
No, yeah.
it's like 3 people die and they're like 400, it's gone up 400%.
Yeah, I see your point. I mean, yeah. I mean, here's my thing where what am I trying to do, right? What am I trying to do is to see that, to be honest, again, I agree, right? Violence, crime is not the biggest issue right now because it is going down. I mean, this is why I've been a big pundit in that, yeah, we are less violent than ever before in our history, okay? Um, but I'm more saying that, you know what? It's like even though I'm not saying the crime is the biggest thing, but I think that's bigger than, let's say, white people being a jerk to you, right? I'm not saying that it's, you know, I'm not saying that there's a big problem with crime. No, I'm just saying that it's so small, but the white people being terrible to you comparative to, let's say, any issues that within the black community. Because, like I said, I think black people, in my opinion, day to day, are usually around each other. So they're not getting a whole lot of experience with white people being terrible to them. And it's not affecting them if they are, it's not affecting them day to day or, you know, longer than, in my opinion, drug uses within the black community, single motherhood in the black community, violence in the black community, even though those are going down. So it's more that I'm trying to be more perspective that like we're talking about online, if we listen to online media, and in my opinion, maybe that's how your views are, where we think that America is more racist than ever before. But I don't believe it. I don't believe that we are more racist than ever before. Are we more racist than we are during Jim Crow, during slavery? No, we're not. I believe we're not at all. But if you
Oh,
listen
100,
to,
100%.
yeah,
100%. Yeah, I can understand that
yeah,
perspective. But like at the same time, you do have the president making racially insensitive posts or like,
about black
you
people,
know, yeah.
like what?
Specifically the Obamas, he portrayed them as monkeys. Well, no, he didn't make it, but he reposted a video where they were portrayed as monkeys.
I mean, like
Yeah.
it was distasteful. I agree, but I think he was doing it more because if you look at that video, it's the whole Republican Party being animalized. So I think that's more of his jab rather than being racist. It's tactless. I agree, right? As the president, it's tactless, but I think he was a jab towards the whole Democratic Party rather than a particular race of people. So I wouldn't call that racist. I'll call it tactless.
To me, like it's always gonna feel racial.
That's the thing, right?
It's like the two. Well, but like, why
agree.
couldn't they just like all you had to do is make Obama a pig or make Obama like a tiger.
Yeah.
But I feel like the racial insensitivity, that's what's. I think that's actually more of a problem. I think people are just less sensitive to the way that other races will take things, and I think even black people are to a certain extent.
No.
But I think that's the problem. People are talking past each other
Yeah.
and not acknowledging the nuances in the way that other people perceive race, and then so because of that, they're just putting the Obamas on top of monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand your point. I see a little bit differently, right? I see a little bit differently. I just see more, like I said, I see more attack against, the whole Democratic Party. But I understand that a white person doing this, it's gonna feel like that. But this is my thing when it comes to that. I just feel like I think we're less racist, but more people being jerks. But because there's a different race, it's seen as racist. Because I just recently did a video of people in Africa trying to kick out illegal African immigrants, doing exactly the same, right? They're trying to push out or forcibly, right, kick out African immigrants. But that we're doing it here, but that has, because it's white people or whatever, has a racial tone, which is another thing why I think it's kind of ridiculous, right? I really think it's ridiculous because if one group, right, if it's the same two people, they're doing it, it's not viewed as a racial lens. But if the other person who's a different race, it's viewed as a racial lens. That's where I find the, I don't know, hypocrisy or, whatever.
Oh no, I think actually I think that the South Africa thing is actually just really racist. I'm like, well, not race. Well, okay, this actually goes like in a whole nother topic. But I think the Europeans and Africans are just more racist than us. Like they're just better at racism. Like, being a German in Europe, right, is way different than being like a German in the United States, especially if you're in like the white community. So they have a lot more. They have tribalism and xenophobia, but they do believe that those other people from over there are a complete different species to them.
I mean, but
they're just not. They just don't have racism because racism is an American thing.
yeah, but see, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. I definitely believe that people can be very hateful. I agree with that. And tribalism, let's be honest, every group is very tribal. I literally see, I don't know, I don't know if you've seen it, but I literally seen videos of black people or certain black people saying that white people are different animals. They're made of like, they have different genetics. And it's like, you're literally at talking points of like, let's say Germans, what the Germans did to the Jews, right? Literally saying that they're different species, that they have genetics of whatever, it's like you're literally being tribal, right? Like, oh, we are like black people have better genetics or black people are better. This is the thing where I just really want to think that we put a racial lens to it, but it's just people hating other groups, and I think that's within humans. We hate each other easily. Right? We find reasons to hate each other, and I just, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like when I got on here, I remember people were saying like black people were no, sorry, white people were like alien invaders
Mm,
who like came to genocide the native population.
mm.
like, and I'm just like, I'd watch it, I'd laugh because it's like these people are like deeply unserious.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then, but the funny thing is, then you like look into it more, and then you look at like Hitler, who was like looking for like Thor's hammer,
Oh,
and like yeah, like so it's like it's literally a neo-Nazi. Well, no, not even neo. It's a Nazi talking point that white people descended from the heavens and brought like mythological super weapons, and that's why they were supposed to, kind of take over Earth because they were sent from the heavens to do so. So I do think the neo-Nazi rhetoric is coming back, but it's even infiltrated black people.
yeah.
So
That's why I just go for it. That I don't know. Maybe I'm. My point is always that we are really no different, right? This is why I honestly go at it where I don't really believe in racism. I do believe that we hate each other, right? But I think it's that there are black people that hate black people. There are white people that hate white people. It's just we hate. We find things to hate about. So I'm more saying that it's not an issue about race, about color. We making it an issue. So that's just my
well,
basic.
I think I'll take this moment to because I agree with you on this point, but I think we take this moment just to talk about the Democrats,
Ah,
and I think that the Democrats, uh to a certain extent, I think like the Democrats and Republicans, both of them, like I think white people in general, they always position themselves as the saviors of black people, regardless of party. Like with people were calling the Democrats the KKK or like the founders of the KKK for a while. And then they were also talking about how the Democrats giving us social services destroy the black family. And all of these things are kind of talking points that just position it as black people are victims perpetually.
ah,
Like,
uh-huh.
we can't have families because, like a man, he can't make more than the state can provide. Like it's kind of demeaning on both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
No.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I do think some black people, they are victims. Like they identify with that perpetually. I do think it's a big problem, but simultaneously, I just think that that's politics in general. I
I
think
agree.
politics position everyone as victims,
I mean, this is
but the
why I probably
Democrats,
maybe
they
you
they
can.
just have the
Yeah,
black vote, and it
yeah,
works on
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
more
yeah.
black people. But
I was
politics
gonna
in
say that.
general, they tell you that they're going to save you from every single problem in your life, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no.
No, no. I was gonna say that. Right. This is why I wish the black community was partyless, where they will only vote for the party that advocates for them, like legislatively, whatever. Right? They would advocate for the black people, but Democrats know that if you call people racist or whatever, automatically you have the black vote, right? I mean, 80% of black people vote Democrat regardless. So I just think that's terrible for the black community. They
But
don't.
I do think you're victimizing us a little bit because like some of the things that the Democrats bring up in terms of racism, like a voter ID, for example. Like the voter ID thing was that black people can't get ID. Well, no, this is how like the right frames it, at least. The right frames it as the Democrats. They're saying that black people won't be able to get IDs, so they won't be able to vote. But it's just like but the Democrats would just make like a more trivial point where they're like, this is going to affect black people a lot more because of the fact that black people are more likely to be impoverished. So buying the $40, ID that lasts for 8 years, they might not do that. They'll probably just buy the one that's going to last them for 4 years because, the money's tight. They don't have as much money. So they just bought the one for 4 years. So election year comes, they have to go scrambling to get an ID. Maybe they don't get it in time and they don't vote. Right.
Well,
So like on both sides, they've taken this issue and they've gassed it up
yeah.
to this huge big problem that black people are going through. When in reality, it's just like a subtle nuance where
Yeah.
they're just saying that black people are going to be more affected by this.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's dishonest because that's not true in my opinion. But
I mean, based on rates of homelessness and generally being on Social Security or social services, Black people would be impacted more. I'm not saying like every Black person. I'm just saying like if it's going to impact people who are on Social Security or any type of social services, it's going to affect more Black people, or it's going to affect the Black community more because they have a higher rate of it.
Well, only if you talk per capita, but in totality, right? There's more white people that are poor than Black people that are poor. Per capita
Oh no,
is different.
you're right. Yeah, per capita, right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it definitely will affect millions more white people than it would affect Black people if you're talking about affect poor. I just think that's how it's. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous that we think that. And let's be honest. In my opinion, if let's say hypothetically a Black person that's poor, I think voting is the least thing is the least on their brain. So because I know plenty of Black people that don't even bother voting. So I think that's dishonest. So, I don't know.
That is so true.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but honestly, I do believe that they should have the opportunity to be involved in politics, like just because. I think you should feel like you have some stake in it. You should feel like you have some skin in the game. I mean, the more we disincentivize people from being aware of what's going on, the easier it is for Republicans to just say absurd things, the same way that it's easy for Democrats to say absurd things.
Yeah.
People aren't going and reading what they're talking about. They're not going in and saying, okay, what's happening with this versus that. Like, they're just kind of just like, my vote doesn't matter. I won't register because it doesn't really, like, a lot of poor people have that mindset, but I do think poor people can make good decisions about what should happen in their communities. And so I still want them to have the ability to vote. I don't want to be hindered by them just not having an ID or something like that.
Yeah, but I am all for. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I think we should all be active in our government. I think that's very important. I think we don't want to be, right. I think to be honest, I think a good amount of Americans don't want to be. But at the very least, if you don't have an ID, I mean, like, voting in politics is the least of your problems, in my opinion. So that's why I think the ones that don't have an ID, they could care less. So
I get that. I get that.
I don't know. I mean, it was a great conversation. It's a great conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate that you were civil.
Yeah,
You didn't call me like a libtard or anything.
No,
So
I don't.
I'll follow you. I might come back.
Thank you. I would love to hear more of your opinions on other topics. So thank you.
You have a good afternoon.
Later, my brother. Okay. Anyone else? I'm sorry. I want to try to keep it one-on-one. I want to try to keep it one-on-one because, again, if I'm putting so many people up here, it could get bogged down, right? I want to keep it respectful. I want to create a conversation, a way to have it more respectful, and it's more respectful when it's one-on-one. So that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, so I sorry if you guys try to ask to join and I'm not bringing you up already. I just want to keep it respectful, right? Where we're not over talking each other really, or we won't get triggered or anything. So that's why I did what I did. Because I know there's a few people who wanted to join. So sorry about that. I mean, I would love it if you guys want to join now. I'm kind of annoyed that someone reported the live. So that was annoying, right? Someone reported the live to say that it's hateful. And again, I don't call people out their name. I don't call people out their name, so I don't think it's hateful or anything. Red Door, what is up, my sister? Sorry I didn't shout you guys out. Laughing Man, I love you, my brother. Johnny Boy, thank you for stopping by. I see more Black people say horrible things to white people than vice versa. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. This is the thing where we say hateful things to each other, right? I don't think it's like I don't really put so much weight on it about race. So that's how I see it. TikTok is the second people. Probably. Guys, if you guys disagree, I'm willing to, let's have a conversation. Let's have a debate. All right. Yeah, I saw that, right? I've seen a few things where now there are black people claiming to be the original Native Americans. I think that's crazy. I honestly, I think that's crazy. I really do. So I think that's an insane thing. Thank you guys for stopping by. Anyone has opposing views, right? If anyone has opposing views, I'm down for a debate. I'm down for a conversation. I don't know if the whole see they restricted my thing. That's so annoying. Okay, they restricted my live, right? You can see that. Like, it's like your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. It's like the reason hate speech. Like, this is what I'm saying, right? People are so freaking annoying. So this is probably decreased our view because there was like 10 people watching. Now it's like none. Right? Probably because of that. So freaking annoying. I may let me see this. I'm probably gonna stop the TikTok and then redo one because people will probably be hating for it. I'm gonna redo it. So annoying. I'm really pissed about that shit, right? I'm pissed about what people are doing. Maybe I'll try a different one. Maybe I'll try a different prompt and maybe it will be a little bit less crazy. All right, let's go with this one. I'm so annoyed with that, right? I'm really annoyed by that. I hate how like people get sensitive. Right? People become sensitive about that shit. There's a tribe in Montana that had their DNA done. They all had Mongolian DNA. Really? Well, here's my thing where I think Native Americans are pretty much Asian, right? I mean, I think they came from land bridge, right? So I think that if you uh you know go back far enough, it'll probably have some DNA, Asian DNA. So I think that's cool, right? I think it shows that we are very more similar than we are different, right? So I think that's really cool. Maybe I should go. Should I don't know if I should. Should I? I don't know if I could change it. Really, that's cool. You have Cherokee in you. That's really cool. Mm, I was thinking if I could change this, but it doesn't look like I could. Once it's done, I guess. Thank you guys for coming by. Thank you guys for coming by. If anyone, I'm always respectful. I'm always respectful. If you guys have a difference of opinion, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If you guys have a difference of opinion, let's talk about it. Evil Eddie, what is up, my brother? What is up? I love you, my brother. All right, let me talk about my some points, right? I had to change the prompt from the last one because it was people were saying I was, I don't know, doing hate speech, which is ridiculous, but whatever. All right. So, here are some new prompts. I believe abortion is 100% murder. Stop lying to yourself and others, right? When people say, "Oh, it's just a clump of cells," we're all a clump of cells. Right now, we're currently all a clump of cells. It's absolutely stupid, right? It's absolutely stupid. You're just saying things so to make yourself feel better. You are killing a baby, 100%. I respect people more if they just be honest about it. Oh, it's just a fetus. There's no consciousness. It's just you just being stupid, right? You're just saying things so you could feel better about why you're doing it. I think that's idiotic. So if you, I'll respect you more if you're just being honest that you're irresponsible. You had sex with a man you either don't want or he doesn't want you, and now because you let him shoot up the club, you got pregnant because of your irresponsibility, and now you don't want to suffer the consequences of your irresponsibility. So that is why you want to murder your baby. It is what it is. Yo, self-made. What is up, my brother? Thank you for Fear Boulevard. That's an interesting name. Self-made. Thank you for just stopping by. Thank you for the love and support. Yes. So, number 2, I'm pro-choice but not pro-abortion. Good. Everything's good. I'm good. How are you, my brother? How are you doing, my brother? I'm pro-choice, not pro-abortion. Abortion is birth control for irresponsible women. I believe you can do whatever you want, right? You can do whatever you want. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't suffer the consequences of your actions. I don't support you aborting your child, but no, it's all good. I don't mind, brother. No one is joining to debate anything, so I don't mind having a conversation, right? I don't mind having a conversation. So don't worry about it. You're not interrupting. It's all good. But yeah, people who are just pro-abortion, you're just pro women having no consequences, right? Women not suffering from their terrible actions. Okay, I believe 80% of abortions, right, or 90% of abortions aren't from, let's say, R word or incest. It's from women just don't want to suffer the consequences. I think 80% of abortions are by married women, or no, not married women, women without women with children, because I believe that majority of abortions are done by single women. It's not married women, right? That's why I am geared towards the irresponsibility of women. Okay, majority of abortions are done by single women, but single women with children already. That is why I create the basis of they're irresponsible, right? These women are irresponsible. These single mothers are irresponsible, which is why is number 4. Single mothers have ruined society, or they're ruining society right now, right? That's true. Kind of crazy too when it's mostly single women. Exactly, it's mostly single women and mostly single mothers. It's single mothers. They're letting the pookies, right? These single mothers are letting the pookies shoot up the club. They're irresponsible. They let these pookies shoot up the club and, not realize that, oh, this man is actually a shitty man. This man is like, he's a pookie. He has probably multiple baby mamas, right? Multiple baby mamas. He doesn't want to take care of your kid now, right? He doesn't want to take care of the kid that he just made with you. You barely know him, right? You probably knew him for a couple months. So now you want to, you want to get rid of that mistake you made, right? You want to get rid of that mistake you made. So it's just irresponsible women that is constantly making irresponsible choices, right? Yes, they're dealing with the pookies, right? They're dealing with the pookies. These low class men, right? Men with multiple baby mamas, men that would make terrible husbands, terrible fathers. I 100% believe that, right? Number 3, feminism. Feminists are fighting for nothing and they're useless today. Feminism has ruined the world. Yes. I believe that everything after feminism, the start of feminism, is the result of women or feminists. Right? It's the result of feminists. The problems we have in the dating market, the problems we have in the world, it's the result of feminism. Right? It's the result of feminism. I really do. I believe it is. So, that is my opinion. We talked about number 4 already. Number 5, right? If you support, right? This is like testing people's logic, right? Number 5 is testing people's logic. If you support women for aborting their child, you should support men for leaving their child. So it's like, if you actually support women deciding what to do with their body, right? You are 100% supporter of what women will do with their bodies. You should also support men. Okay. Mythbuster. What's up?
What's up?
Well, I saw you had different opinions of the last one too. So I mean, whatever topic you want to talk about, we could also talk about too. So don't worry.
No, it seemed like you were dismissing racism the last time. A little bit.
More like I agree. Racism is around. I just don't think it's as big as an issue as, let's say, social media or people in media make it out to be.
I would probably disagree with that. I think to the extent of people saying that it's worse than in the 60s, we can agree it's not that bad. I think the media does an okay job at showing how bad racism is, though. You can see different court cases, you can see different actions from people in career fields or CEOs. I think one thing you said was Black people don't really hang around white people enough to really be mistreated by them. And I think that doesn't really make much sense. I mean, like, white people are 60, 70% of the population. So if you get any job, you're likely going to be around white people unless the job that you're in is just a majority Black area.
Well, I mean, that does make sense because even the last person said that they live in a majority Black, city. So I'm not saying there's no white people, but I mean, it's more like what I mean is more comparative, right? Is that, okay, fine. Maybe you see one white person a day and that one white person, right, says the N-word to you. But in relative like problem, you may see one white person and he says the N-word to you, while let's say in your neighborhood, you get, I don't know, carjacked by a Black person or mugged by a Black person or robbed or killed by a Black person. That is more.
Yeah, but that seems like you're confusing. That seems like a confusion of the issues here, right? Because those two are problems, but they're problems for different reasons, right? Like, most Black people are going to interact with white people, and most Black people interact with enough white people to know what racism looks like and to experience it. Why? Because again, those jobs that we have are just not jobs that are majority Black jobs, right? If I go get a job at a at a financial firm, it's mostly going to be white people. If I get a job at a mechanic shop, it's probably mostly going to be white people. That's just how it is in America. But I think the problem of getting robbed by a black person and racism, robbed is an issue, but you're not getting robbed because you're black. The racism exists because you're black.
But
These are issues, but for separate reasons.
But see, that's the thing. Where I disagree with that in the sense that one, I don't believe it's as rampant as you make it out to be because it's not. We don't have. I personally don't know any court cases that. I mean, like, I would please educate me. I don't know any court cases that are in the job force, the people are being racist to you. I personally don't know any. And two, it's
Just because you don't know any doesn't mean that they're not out there,
that's why I
though,
said
right?
please educate me. I'm being open minded, right? I'm not
Right. So maybe not the job force, but if we talk about like our government, for example, right? You could look at like NAACP v. McCrory. That was a judge ruling that the voter ID laws that the legislators in North Carolina wanted to enact, they targeted black people with almost surgical precision. That was verbatim what the judge said in order to discourage them from voting. I think that's a pretty big issue.
I I I don't really believe that. I mean, again, I don't know that well, so maybe it is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can look it up. I just
Yeah.
think that let's say for example, let's grant that that did happen. Wouldn't you say that's an issue though?
Yeah, I would say I would say that's an issue.
Okay, and like another example, we have Allen
But
v. Milligan.
I want to continue with that, right? I believe
Okay, sure.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that majority of black people don't vote, or at least a good percent of black people don't vote. So let's say even if I grant you that case, it doesn't more. Why I say is that it doesn't affect people in the sense that if you have a population that doesn't even want to care to vote, even if let's say even if you have a racist voting policy, if the populace, the group of people that you're targeting, they don't even want to vote, even though that's why I say it doesn't affect them
No,
necessarily.
that still affects you, even
No,
if you
in
don't
the sense that
participate in voting.
you could
It still
care
affects
less.
you.
You could care less.
It's
right?
not about if it can. Let's say that black people. Let's say that you're right. Most black people in North Carolina don't vote. Let's say they woke up the next day and they were like, you know what, this election is important. I need to go vote. Then that law is there and it affects them.
No,
So regardless
okay,
of if
yeah.
black people vote or not, majority, it wouldn't really matter because it affects you both directly and indirectly.
No, I mean, no, I
Like
see your point.
these things are not static. They're dynamic. These are moving parts.
Okay, no, I see your point, right? Yes, if it changes, then yes, it would affect them. I'm more saying that okay. I mean, I agree. It's situational, but why again? When I did a comparative, like with the question, where I don't believe that affects people, right? Average black person, day to day, right? I don't believe racism affects average black people day to day more than let's say their interaction with other people within their own community. And I'm not
Let's say
saying it's
it's
always a bad thing, but I'm saying that that's more of a fact. That's more of a day to day on your mind than let's say the white man.
the problem is even if I accept that, there's still problems. That's why I said earlier there are problems
I,
for different reasons.
I agree, but again, I'm also putting the levels right. Yes, we could. There's always problem. We're human beings. We always have problems. But me stubbing my foot or me losing my job, those are both problems, but they're relatively very different and at a different magnitude of problems. Okay, I wouldn't equate. My life is not ruined because I stubbed my foot. My life is ruined because I lost my job, even though
But
both are
I don't
problems.
think that's a metric. I don't think this is a metric you can properly. I don't think this is a metric currently that you can properly measure together like that.
Well, here's why
Like you,
here's how I can measure this. Right, this is personally right. This is how I base my my basis of my logic. Where day to day, right, you can see stats where let's say black on black crime. Again, I talked to the last person who said yes, I agree. Crime is decreasing 100%. I'm on board with that. It doesn't mean there's zero crime, right? So the crime that is happening, you have a higher problem with black on black crime, right? Your neighbors, people of your own, people in your vicinity doing crime against you. What is the we don't have I don't see an increase in let's say law cases with let's say racial tension or even say let's say what is very popular, let's say white cops killing black people. They're doing it, but if you look at the numbers, it's about a couple hundred compared to a couple thousand, right? That's how I at least base my logic on. Again, it's not concrete. I would definitely agree to that. But how I say that, what's a bigger problem? Even though both are problems, 100%. What's a bigger problem? That's why
It seems like you're only. I would argue that the racism is a bigger problem because it's more
mm,
systemic, and I think that's because you're looking at it more individual than systemic. Like if I'm telling you about a law that is affecting millions of people in a state, I think that is a bigger issue, especially when you're violating the rights of those people in that state, than the black on black crime in that state. Because the black on black crime, you're talking about, again, it's an issue, but you're talking about less than 1% of black people committing any violent crime against another black person versus the system attacking millions of black people and their rights. I feel
well,
like one is obviously an issue, and that would be the systemic problems. Do you remember that? Do you remember that that Harvard guy who did the study about the police brutality, and they were saying that he was being silenced because the results didn't actually shape up to how liberals thought it would be?
no, I'm sorry. I don't remember that one.
Okay, well, I can find his name, but if you look that up, essentially the results of that study were that when it came to actually unalivements, black people weren't facing that much like racial bias when it came to police
Uh-huh.
interactions.
Uh-huh.
But when it came to like actual abuse of power and physical force and assaults,
Uh-huh.
that black people were disproportionately affected by that when it came to police stops. And so I think when you look at stuff like that, again, this is a system affecting you versus, whatever, like crime is mostly um, location based versus the system affects you on a wide range of things. It's more
Mhm.
broad. So I think obviously the system thing would be worse.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, before that, guys, if you guys trying to ask to come up, I'm trying to keep it one-on-one to be more respectful, so we won't over talk each other or we won't get triggered because we're saying
So if
things
you
to
got
each
another
other. So
person though, I'm about to go. So
okay,
if
yeah,
you gotta
probably.
drop me,
No. I wasn't gonna drop you, right? I just wanted because people are want if they want to come up. That's why I'm saying. Uh, I don't. Here's my thing where I would look at the Virginia thing. I don't. I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but did they say it was target? I mean, they would say it was black people specific.
which one are you talking? Are you
The
talking about
Virginia thing. You talk about the Virginia thing,
you talking about the North Carolina
North
thing?
Carolina thing. Yeah. Did they say
Yeah.
it was
So
black people specific?
what happened was the legislators were asking for data on black people's voting patterns, and they were creating laws surrounding that data. So if it was about polling booths, they were closing polling booths that black people would mostly go to. They were targeting certain areas that black people were in. It was kind of stuff like that. That's why the judge ruled that it was targeting black voters.
Mm, okay. Well, and did they stop that?
Well, I mean, you have to, yeah. At that point, I guess technically you could continue going on, but you'd have a major issue at that point.
Okay.
But of
Well,
course, if the
then,
courts are stopping it, then yeah,
he-
you could stop it. Sure.
okay. Well, I mean, great that they stopped it. If that's true, right? I'll take you on face value. But then it kind of disproves it's being systemic, where we have.
No, I think the fact that you even have
Well, the
I
fact we
think the
always have
fact that
terrible
you even
people.
have legislators like that modern day that are willing to do stuff like that is an issue in itself.
I agree, right? I don't say that's not a. I don't disagree with that. But here's my thing: where we always have a party that looks out for themselves, right? Look out for whoever they want to look out for. I think that's indicative of our. I don't know. It's just indicative of our country, of our party, of our government. So I don't necessarily. Here's my opinion, right? I don't necessarily view that as racist. I view that as politics because let's be honest. I think 80% of black voters they 100% always vote Democrat or so to be it's like it seems like it's more of a tactic. Uh, so you could deem it
You
as
think it's a
racist, and I wouldn't
tactic?
disagree.
You think it's a tactic to ask about data surrounding black people?
Well, it's a tactic to look. I agree. It's a bad tactic. It's an ugly tactic, but it's a tactic to um. Okay, gone. But yes, I think it's a tactic. I definitely think it's a tactic. Because they want to stop a certain voter base, right? They want to stop a certain voter base, which is understandable, right? I mean, like, uh, people would definitely try to stop certain voter base. Guys, if you want to come up, you guys could come up. Like I said, I want to try to keep it, 1-to-1, so we could have a more cohesive conversation. So I could give people, spotlight to talk and stuff. But yeah, he was gone. I could look into it. I mean, like, I wouldn't disagree, right? I wouldn't be surprised that Republicans or Democrat have underhanded tactics. I've said this before when it comes to politics. It's always voting for the lesser of two evils, right? It's just how politics is. Sad thing about politics is that, right? It's both people are they're not good, right? They're both evil. You gotta pick the lesser of two evils. It is what it is. I see it as less racist, more of a underhanded tactic, in my opinion. But yeah, that's the thing. Where, yes, I mean, like, fear, like, less of two evils. Exactly. This is the thing where I don't care about. I don't really. I'm not a Republican. Definitely not a Democrat anymore. I was a Democrat. Definitely not. I've said this where I'm more center, right? It's just what makes more sense to me. That's it. I think that's how most people should vote, right? Most people should view things more of a center lens, right? Whatever makes sense to you. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about this. We could talk about any of the prompts here. We could talk about any prompts if you've seen my other lives. We could talk about anything else. So, you know, he wanted to talk about racism that we were because my last my last live, because I had to get off of it because people didn't like it. People were triggered by it. It is what it is. But we could talk about racism if you want. All right. I believe racism isn't a big problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem, right? I'm not saying racism isn't a problem. I'm saying racism isn't a big problem, right? It's not bigger. It's not a bigger problem than, let's say, you know, the issues in the Black community, single motherhood, crime, drugs, violence. I think those problems are bigger than racism. I think those are bigger problems in the Black community than racism is. I, anecdotally, right? Black people around me, they're not talking about, you know, what the white man is doing to them, right? Or how the white man is racist to them. What they're talking about is the violence, the crime, the baby mama shit, the baby daddy shit. That's what they talk to me more about, right? That's what I hear more about. So I hear more about that, right? But you guys, if you guys want to talk about these, right? Any disagreements? I'm definitely down to. Oh, yeah. Guess you're a murderer, cold-blooded as well, bro. Regan, nah, nah. You're a good person. I gotta believe that, right? I gotta believe that. But you know, I don't think it matters much. It's legal anyways. Legal, really? Oh, man, how you doing it? Video games, W legal. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for just stopping by, checking out the stream. Thank you guys. It's not. None of those are bigger problems than the economy and this president we got. Really? I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to the president, I don't like his foreign policy, but here's my honest opinion. I think Trump is 1,000 times better than Kamala. I would still pick Trump over Kamala. Right? I would still pick Trump over Kamala. Right? And yeah, the economy isn't. I think it's because of this war. Exactly why I don't care for Trump's foreign policy. I really think that we should not give a shit about what's happening outside of our borders. I don't care about the Middle East. I don't care about Ukraine. I don't care about anywhere else but America. Right? America first. We need to focus on America. Right? It's America first for me. So I really don't. I don't care for Trump's foreign policy, caring about other nations. I liked his tariffs. I hate that the Supreme Court struck it down. I think that was stupid, right? It racked in hundreds of millions, if not billions, I believe, right? It racked in a lot of money. And now we have to give it back because the Supreme Court don't like it. It's like a bunch of stupid shit. So when people are murdered overseas, it doesn't matter. But when it's unborn babies, it does. I'm sorry, Richard, right? I get it, right? So when people are murdered overseas, it doesn't matter. But when it's unborn babies, it's different. Yes, I'm sorry. The world is unfair, right? We have to focus on ourselves. We have to focus on ourselves because we have problems here, right? In America, we're not perfect. We're far from perfect. We have Americans suffering, right? We have Americans suffering, right? Our education, our healthcare, our I don't know, our whatever else, right? Family, economy, whatever. We are suffering. Okay, we have a low birth rate, high divorce rate, low marriage rates. We have so many problems. So as terrible as that sounds, yes, I don't care what's happening outside of our borders. I believe that we should focus within our borders first. And if people are doing great, people are doing well, then let's think about outside. Think about what's happening outside. Why is the low birth rate an issue? We don't have enough people, right? We don't have enough people replacing the people that are dying. So what happens when we're older? What happens to our job force? We cannot sustain our economy if we don't have people replacing it. Why do you think so many countries, so many nations are allowing so many immigrants? Right? Because we can't replace the people we're losing. The people that are dying, we don't have replacements, right? We aren't giving birth enough that it's, replacing the people that are dying in our country. So it is a problem. How you sustain the number one thing to sustain a nation is people, right? That's the number one thing to sustain a nation. You need people. This is why there are some reports, right? Some studies that say in the next 50 years, Korea will go extinct. That's insane, right? They say in the next 50 years or so, Korea will go extinct because they have such a low birth rate. To say that a human race or a human group is going extinct, that is insane. The majority of drop in birth rates are from ages 15 to 19. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that it's not a detriment thing right now, right? For the U.S., it's not a concerning thing, right? I'm not saying that, but it's an issue that we could focus on, right? Like support families, push more things about families. I'm Korean mixed, and I do agree that their birth rates in other countries is amongst the major issues. Yeah, that's why I use Korea as an example, right? We're not in America. It's not the biggest of issues, but it should be an issue, right? Why don't we have like tax credit for families, right? We should be promoting people, making families instead of aborting their children, right? We should be promoting people having children, right, in a family, right, 2-parent household, instead of fighting for abortion rights. That's stupid, right? Feminists shouldn't be fighting for women to be killing babies. They should be fighting for tax credits or more rights for families, right? It could lessen the burdens for mothers, right, for wives. That's what feminists should be fighting for, but they're not, right? I mean, that's the thing. Those are issues that we should be focused on, where we put less stress on families so people would want to make a family. People would desire to create a family. So that's how I think. In order for our birth rates to increase, we need to fix the economy. It's not expensive to live, nor if it's not expensive to live, no one will have kids. I agree. And that's probably why Korea's having a problem. It's so expensive. And that is why I say that, why aren't we focusing on, our money should be going to our families, going to America. We should have tax credits you should be paying no tax or whatever if you have a family, right? If you have a family, your tax should be like almost zero, right? Or whatever, right? Whatever policy you do. I do agree there. I agree with abortion until we start offering support for these children afterwards. And this is a thing where we should be giving a whole lot of support for people who create families, right? 2-parent household, people who focus on 2-parent households, we should be giving them support, right? We should be giving them support. That's the thing where I'm saying that should be one of the things where I wish our government would be focusing on the American people, right? We should be putting our policies, our laws, or whatever towards bettering American lives. So that's how I see it. Yeah. Never. I've been to Seoul, never again. Really? Yeah, I've heard people say that it's crazy expensive in Seoul, right? Well, sadly, we send more money to Israel than we Yo, we sent billions to Ukraine. F that shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care if Russia takes it over. I'm sorry. I don't. We sent billions to the Ukraine. Hell, I rather that the money that we sent to the Ukraine, I rather that had gone to the black community. Hell, we could have called that reparations. Right? We could have called that reparation, and I wouldn't even cry about that. But no, we would rather send millions to billions to other nations. I'm like, are you kidding me? We could be sending, we could have, you could use that billions for, let's say, I don't know, tax credits or whatever, stimulus checks to American citizens. So yeah, yeah, the ballroom thing I think is ridiculous. Again, Trump. There's plenty of issues I have with Trump. Right? People think that I'm a Trumper, even though, yeah, like I said, I would rather vote for Trump than Kamala. But I've said this before. When it comes to government, it's the lesser of two evil. It's the lesser of two evil. I just think that she's incompetent. She would have done nothing, absolutely nothing. You know, she would do the exact same thing that Biden did, absolutely nothing. Right? So, you know, yeah, that's my thing. But yeah. Richard, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Oh, sorry, I just, damn it, I didn't notice that there was a someone who wanted to be a guest. Later, Richard. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. We sent trillions to Israel. That's why I think is stupid. I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. Besides for trading with each other, which it's beneficial, right? When you trade with other country, both sides are benefiting. I think that's it. That should be the extent of what we do with other countries. We can trade with each other. That's it. Besides that, I'm sorry. You're on your own. You're on your own. I don't really care. I really don't care. Now, fear later, my brother. Later, my brother. Yeah, I don't really care. Right? We shouldn't be caring about what's happening to other nations. Um, if you guys have a difference of opinion, let's talk about it. How do I change this effect? Uh, Thank you guys for being here. I don't know. I think that restriction hurt me. I don't know. Maybe it hurt me more than I thought, but we'll see. It is what it is. Evil Eddie, thank you for being here, my brother. Thank you for being here. Yo, do you guys watch the UFC? I just signed up for Paramount. I definitely want to stream the UFC on Discord, right? If you guys check out my Discord, please join the Discord. I probably will do some UFC streaming on Discord, right? Did you guys watch the UFC? That was some badass thing. That was a badass fight card, right? I definitely saw the main card. It was a badass card. Right? It was a good fight. It was a lot of good fights. I definitely did not think. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do it, right? Since I signed up for it, we might watch the UFC, the what is it? Ilya Taporia versus Justin Gaethje. We'll probably watch that on Discord, right? We'll probably watch it on Discord, which is kind of crazy. It's on Saturdays, but I might just say that, yeah, well, that's what we're going to do. So please join the Discord. Please join the Discord if you guys want to, watch UFC with me. All right. We could watch the UFC together. That'll be fun. Chilling with the brothers, watching fights. I think that'll be fun. But yeah, I mean, whoa. I don't know if you, I thought, Chamat would have won. I thought he was going to win. He should, I mean, like, he was doing good on his feet, right? He was doing good on his feet, but I do think that, Sean, he really couldn't, he made those takedowns seem a bit useless. And he was like striking more than, Hamzat. Right, he was probably striking more than Hamzat. Sean's striking is so awkward. It's so awkward. But I could tell that his nose was broken. Right, his nose was broken. That's probably why he couldn't turn on the gear. Okay, probably why he didn't turn on the gear, because his nose was broken, and he said that his shoulder was dislocated or whatever. So, yeah, it is what it is. But it was a good fight. It was a good fight. What is it? Joshua Van versus what, I forgot, this Japanese guy. That was a good fight. The Japanese guy was a warrior. He went out on the shield. So that was a good fight. That's it. No one wants, it happens, right? It happens. No one wants to have a debate. It's all good. Had two people having a debate, which is respectful. It was a good conversation. It was nice. So that was fun. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Yes, see you guys tomorrow on Monday, YouTube live stream. But yeah, that is it. Evil Eddie, thank you, my brother. I love you.
Step in, take a seat, bring your mind to
you guys are amazing. Right? Thank you for all the love. Thank you for being here.
We build, not break.
Every point that we make,
Let it breathe.
let it land, give and take.
Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Check out my TikTok. Check out my TikTok. This is where I usually put shorts first. Right? YouTube shorts. They come here first. So, guys, I love you. Later, guys. Can't wait. Evil Eddie, I love your music. I love your song. So, can't wait. I love it. You guys like the music? Check out Evil Eddie. Evil Eddie on YouTube.